Today we're going to learn about something called interactions, and it is one of the benefits of Figma is that we can make Figma act almost as if to be able to do the clicks that would be done on a website. So you can show a client what something might look like if they were to do it on the website and make changes now before it gets hard when we're in WordPress. All right, so the first thing I have students in my classes do is we have to have a couple frames. So here I have the menu, and I always do the menu separately when I'm going to do the interactions, also known as prototyping. And so my menu is up here, and I have a home page and I have an about page. All right, so first of all, let's get the home button hooked up. So if you click on the home button, it would take you to the home page. All right, so I'm going to click here, and you'll notice that it's in this purple square as opposed to a blue square that we normally see. That tells me that the home button has already been treated to be able to prototype or to create an interaction. Let's look at a button where this hasn't been done. So let's look at the about. You notice it's the blue box, which means it doesn't have, it hasn't been made into a component that then you have the ability to give an interaction to. So what we're going to do is we're going to select whatever text or object we want to connect, and I am going to right click, and I'm going to come down and it's going to say create component, and I'm going to select that. Now that will have a component in that purple rectangle around it. And I'm going to also do this to my logo here. All right, so then what do? If you come over to the right menu, you'll notice towards the top we have design and prototype. We've been working in design, and now we are going to work in prototype. Okay, so we're in prototyping. Now we're going to come over here. I'm going to click on Summit. And you'll notice if you hover, you'll see a little plus button. And I want my menu to be whenever anyone clicks on the logo, it will take them back to the home page. So I'm going to click and drag this that little arrow right down to here. I'm just going to drop it. Now here, do I want this to happen on a click? Do I want it to happen in an instant? Or I could make some other choices. It could dissolve and animate, move in, out. I'm just going to say in an instant. So I like that, and I'm going to have it on a click. Other choices would be if somebody's doing some other things, but a click makes the most sense for a menu. And the home button, I'm going to do the same thing because I also want the home button to bring us here. And for the about page, I'm going to put the about page over here. All right, so what does this mean we can do? Well, let me also take this, what I'd also like to do. Well, no, let me just show you then. Let me be clicked on here, and I'm going to click this play button in the top up here. So this is how you might send it to a client. And so the client would look at it and say, interesting, and click on that. And so then they would have the chance to do an interaction to see what it's like, what it works like. But then we could also link up our buttons. So you'll notice that we have an interaction on this one. So we get kind of the hover effect, what it would look like when we're hovering over it. So let us go to the play button here, and we'll scroll down, and you'll see it lets us see what that hover button would look like, and that was all done just using the interaction. This was just made into a component, and it was dragged over to these little frames that are over here. All right, so now a common question I get asked, Oh, and also once I have this all set up, once I have all the pages I'm going to create and I have my menu set and connecting to all the correct pages, then I will just copy and paste it at the top here. And that way I don't have to do interactions 3 different times. I just do them once and then I can duplicate it and put it here. Okay, so, but let me say, one of the things I'm often asked about, if you want to have the dynamic of having a scrolling, or not a scrolling, a kind of a slideshow on your front page. Let's say you want this to sometimes be this picture, sometimes another picture. How would you do that? So first I'm going to select the whole frame. I'm going to duplicate the whole frame. And put it over there, which I don't really like. I'm going to put it underneath just so it's easier for me to see. And I'm going to select this rectangle with the image. I'm going to go back to design and I'm going to put a different image in here. And so I just downloaded a free mountain picture that had a hiker in it, so I'm going to put that in here. Great. Now I have these 2 different versions of it. I am now going to make these 2 frames into components. So I'm going to select the name of the frame here, right click and create component. I'm going to go up to the home, do the same thing and create component. And you'll notice that they turn purple here. Alright, then I'm going to go back to prototype, and when I'm in prototype I then have where I can put this here. Now this one I don't want to do on a click. I want to have it happen after a delay, and let's try 1 second. All right, then I'm going to come down to here and I am going to make an interaction which I connect it back up to here. Let's make sure it actually happened. All right, and we want this to happen after a delay, and let's say we want this to happen after, let's say again 1 second and see what happens here. Oh yeah, I wanted a millisecond, so okay, fine, we'll do that. Well, now let's take a look at what this would be like. So we're going to go to home. So right now it's really quick, but you can see, we now see if we have where you have pictures that are automatically going from one picture to the next. So that is how you would set up one of these. And we'd get all these interactions together, and it's kind of fun. Then you think again, if you sent it to a client, they could actually see what it would be like to interact with the website. All right, can't wait to see what y'all create.